Hey gamers, Eric here, and I'm excited because we have a new MMORPG coming out tomorrow, August the 18th, Stars Reach, and this is hitting early access on Steam. I love a good MMORPG that builds itself as a sandbox. Many have tried. I still haven't found the one that was perfect for me, and I think many other of you are in the same boat, but hopefully this one is it. It's billing itself as a sci-fi sandbox MMORPG from Playable Worlds. And this game has some clout. So the main developer behind it, he is one of the original guys that worked on Ultima Online. Also, he worked on Star Wars Galaxies, one of the most beloved sandbox MMORPGs ever released. And so I'm pretty excited for this game personally. It's called Stars Reach. We're going to break it down in this video, show you the roadmap, go over what's in the game right now, show you the update history, kind of talk a little bit about, is this game right for you right now, or should you wait? Let's dive into it. All right, so this was funded back on Kickstarter in February of 2025. Like I said, we did a video covering it back then. It was more of a pitch to see if there was some commercial relevance. It already had investor backing, and I think it was for just under $40 million, if I remember correctly. And this Kickstarter, I think, was only up to 800K. Maybe it was just under a million, I think. But their goal was 200K to kind of see about making it, and they hit that very quickly. I think it was in the first hour. And like I said, this isn't some random Unity flip just to get your money. This team is led by, I already said, some of his accolades, Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxy. This is Raph Koster. And so he's got the chops to make a game and knows how to do it. So let's break down a little bit more about what the core gameplay pillars are. Terraforming for real. You can reroute rivers, you can level mountains, you can even burn forest. The world is permanently reflected off what the players do to it. Along with that, there are 40 plus crafting professions with deep material compositions. So ingredients, properties that carry into the finished item stats. There's a player-driven economy, trading, settlements, long-term civilization building, including vendors and all that stuff, are fully built into the game. No hard classes. So you can be like a basic class like an explorer, a crafter, a trader, a politician, or a fighter. You can mix and match. Instead of committing to just one build, there's really nothing. You can do anything you want. Multiple planet explorations. So creatures spawn by dynamic ecosystems instead of as like a static spawn table. Combat does exist in this game, but it's clearly not a headline of it and not the main focus. This is a building and crafting and exploring style of MMORPG. While there are boss fights and you do have to protect your home and things, it's just not what this game is all about. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the roadmap, what's coming. The Playable Worlds just ran a stress test, right, on the servers. I think that was last week. And from all accounts, it seemed to go really, really well. So that's good to see before, obviously, you launch an MMORPG. With that said, I can count the number of successful MMORPGs launched on launch day on one hand. Like, most of the time, the servers get overwhelmed and all that happens. And I would expect nothing less than that with this game as well. I hate to break everybody's hearts. It's too costly to have the infrastructure for a game at the first day when it's going to slowly start to edge off and even out. And so I think that's the real reason why companies don't invest a ton of money in it at the beginning, because they know within our short attention spans, we are going to move on or not have to try to rush to be on day one, and it'll even out the player spread. Hopefully that's not the case, don't get me wrong, but I would be really surprised if we don't at least see some heavy lag on release day. Now let's get back to the roadmap. There's a lot that's not here yet, and it feels like it's missing some things for an early access launch. I'm just going to be honest with you. What I do love about this game is the amount of updates and the amount of stuff they have added since it's been kickstarted. So they've done a ton of work, and it's all been very positive from what I can see. They're moving in the right directions. I think the team is listening to the community, and they're just building things out. It takes time to build this stuff. So things that aren't in, there's no PvP, there's no faction systems. And as you can see here, it says they are working on getting guilds. So it's going to actually launch without a guild system. Now, with all this said, it's been a week, right? And so they could have a surprise patch where they put in at least some frameworks for some of these systems into place. And so I would expect pretty quickly to them to have some of the basics in place, like a guild system. And they already say it's in progress. I can't imagine it would be something they wouldn't want to get in ASAP. Now, speaking of getting stuff into a game that's not really ready, unfortunately, about 6 months ago, we heard that Stars Reach, and I do appreciate the fact that Raph made the post himself, that they had some significant layoffs. Now, we don't know how many people it was, but when you're making a post like this, you think it would have to be, more than a couple. And we've been seeing this a lot in the game industry, and I absolutely hate it. I don't know. I know game development is extremely hard. You run into roadblocks, it delays things. I get it. It's from a business standpoint, but I don't like it, right? So you have to question a little bit, how ready is Stars Reach going to be for early access? Is this a make or break time? Unfortunately, Steam people, user reviews aren't generally very nice to games that aren't ready for early access. There's a big gap between what an early access title is and what it isn't. And there's a lot of interpretation made by both parties, I think. And it usually ends up in negative reviews. So I am hoping, because I do see what this developer and the team is trying to do here. I do think there's going to be a really cool game here. I just don't know if it's going to get funded to be able to see it all the way through, if that makes sense. Now, speaking of supporting the game, you can't pre-order a early access title on Steam, so you can't actually buy it yet. You can add it to your wish list, but at release, we know what they're going to offer. There's going to be 3 packs to support them through. There is a First Light pack for $29.99 that gets you the base game. There's a Voyager pack for $49.99 that gives you some bonus unlocks. And then there's a Cosmonaut pack for $79.99, gives you premium cosmetics and an early tool upgrades, is what it says. So, if this is a game that you want to support and you don't mind working through early access, definitely check it out. Again, tomorrow, August 18th, is the release date where you can get your hands on this and finally dive into it, which we'll be doing at the MMG. We'll be having coverage on it from tomorrow at release on until, we're done covering it, basically. And I hope this game becomes everything that it wants to be, because I want it to be that. It sounds like an amazing game. I love being able to create my whole little world, own a planet, and set the rules. Come on, it sounds amazing. Thanks for hanging out. Have yourself a great day.